Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. We start with chapstick. My name is Dion. This is the Crazy Troll Nation. Welcome aboard. We're crazy because we do what we want to do with our makeup and we have fun with it. And the troll part is not caring too much about what the beauty community standards of beauty are, but knowing that we are beautiful inside and outside, regardless of what brand we're using, what tool we're using, how we apply it, what techniques we use. And so it is about self-acceptance and self-love, enhancing your natural features if you want to, but more importantly, embracing your natural features. And again, not feeling like you need to do a certain thing because somebody else said so. Know that you're beautiful, because at the end of the day, morning, night, whenever you wash off your makeup, it's important for you to love you for who you are. I do curse on my channel sometimes. This is what else you see here. So let me know how I did with multitasking with my intro and putting on the Fenty eyeshadow primer, of course, blending that out with an angled concealer brush. I am using, again, Pat McGrath Mothership number 3 palette. You know this, you saw the title. If I put it in the title, I'm sure I did. I had this palette about a year ago and it was horrendous. I've since learned new things, new techniques, purchased new little tools to use. And so I have been wanting to try them again, and you may know this if you've seen my other more recent Pat McGrath videos. And so the looks that I did with this palette before, it's Midnight Sun, I'm sorry, were recreations of 2 looks that Chris Love's Luxe did. And I had forgot that I had this palette before, even though Gigabyte sounded familiar. And so I looked at that video, I looked at the looks I did, which I did like, so I'm going to recreate them. But what I did was, looking at where I placed the colors, I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. And so even though those looks were 1 and 2, these 2 are going to be 3 and 4. I'm going to do 1 on each eye. So I do apologize for those of you who do like to see the entire process. If I was doing completely new looks, this wasn't supposed to go on this side. If I wasn't doing completely new looks, I would have just did 1 look on both eyes. And so forgive me for that. This is a Danessa Myricks eyeliner that I hardly ever use and I would not repurchase. Next we talked about eyeliner in Golden Olive. That's what we're going to put over here, and hopefully this will show up, and it is over top of what we just put there. So if you have Midnight Sun, let me know what you think about it. If you have it, I'm sure you love it, because I don't hear many people saying they don't. My issue with them previously was the astral shades. My eyes just did not tolerate the glitter, but as I said, I learned new things and purchased new tools to use to help me not have the fallout to where it's flaking in my eyes, which was leaving my eyes irritated for up to 3 days, because the flakes would get stuck under my lid, and every time I blinked, it would scratch my eye and my eyes would tear horribly. So that was my issue with them. And for me, paying the amount of money for that palette, I did not want to use 4 shades out of the 10 that were in that palette. And so learning new things, I'm somewhat enjoying using the palettes. I just have to be in the mood to do extra stuff. So we're going to start with, I have notes here, that's why I keep looking down. I have my brushes set out. Hopefully I don't forget anything. So what we're going to do right now with an Hourglass number 3 brush is we're going to take Blitz Amethyst, and that's going to go all over the lid. I'm not I am going to tap off. I was going to say I wasn't, because the Fenty primer is a tacky primer, and so I find that shades do stick, even if they're metallics and shimmers. Glitters, my eyes don't tolerate glitter. If it's a shade that's chunky or flaky, it will still stick, but once I have the shade down, like if I try to layer this too much, that's when it will start to flake off and fall out into my eyes. I'm going to switch to the other eye. I should have primed it later, because my lids are sticking. So this one, we're going to take Gigabyte, this shade here, When I did these looks before, I did try to dupe them out with the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. It ain't work, y'all. So I can really say these shades are unique. Not only to my collection, but just unique in general. And I do keep a very small collection. I think I might have 30 eyeshadow palettes at this point, and I am going to do a declutter soon. Yeah, because something in, something out, and some of them I am just not enjoying using like I used to. This is nice. Even though I wish it was deeper, because I prefer me in darker tones, I do really like this shade. So I think we are just going to leave this like this. This is still off of that second. Did I go back in a second time with this? I don't even remember. My stomach is rumbling. This could be a one and done. Put something on lower lash line. Astral Ghost Orchid, this shade here, and this is one of the tools I purchased. It is a sponge tip. This is going to go both on the inner lid. Even this is a dual chrome because that looks white, but look on here, it looks pink. So that's going to go on the inner lid. This works really well for this. I find that the shades go on more saturated when I use this versus putting the shadow on a brush and then wetting the brush. And so I am really liking these. I just wish they were wider to cover more area. We're also going to take that on the inner lower lash line. I'm going to wrap it, which is just starting from here and bringing it around the tear duct down to here. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I call it. I call it wrapping because I'm wrapping it around my inner tear duct area. I'm going in with just a little bit more, and we're just pressing. I really love these things. Extreme Black, this shade here with an Esom T37, and we're going to put that on our outer corner. I can't tell if it's on there because the brush is black and the shade is black. I'm going to tip. I'm going to swipe the tip of the brush, and of course, sorry you couldn't see me, so that I can put some right here. I don't know why I'm sitting like hunched over like that. I need to practice having better posture. Usually I'm good with sitting straight, but then sometimes I'm not. We're going to leave that like that because I don't want to take this too far over because we do have a different transition shade. We're going to use 2 of the Scott Barnes number 61 brushes for our transition shades, and we have 2 because we're using 2 different transition shades, one on the first half and one on the second half. The first half we're using Lazarus, which is this shade right here. So this is the first half of the transition. I don't know if I'm liking this now. I liked it before I put this here. And so next time I do this look, I'll tweak it again. And maybe not even use a transition shade because I liked it the way it was. We're going to put that brush down. We're going to take the clean one. You know what? I messed up. Shit. Okay, so this shade was supposed to have been over here. So I'm going to dip in again. I'm looking at it wrong. This is Deep Shade, which is supposed to be on the second half of the transition. And maybe that's why I tweaked it to have the darker shade out here and the lighter shade on the inner part of the transition area. I'm going to take the clean one and go into Lazarus, which is this shade here, and hopefully that will cover up the first shade. Yes, I tweaked it to do this and then still did it the other way. That just made it darker. And I'm not liking how it looks like there's a little gap right here. So what I'm going to do, that brush that had the black on it, not adding any extra shadow, we're just going to press. Seems like lately I've been having a gap right here. I don't know if it's a patch of dry skin or what. I did dip into that shade, that black shade. I have been having like a thing there lately, and I don't know why. This is just a Makeup Geek brush. And so it'll go, but once I blend it, it turns into a hole again. I'm gonna leave that like that and pretend that I made a wing on purpose. This is frustrating. Like, I don't know why. Yeah, we're gonna leave that just like that. Also, extreme black, this shade on the lower outer lash line. So we're gonna use this same brush. I don't even know if this is the brush I had out for this. Why did I put a purple in here? I'll figure it out in a second. Let's Amethyst. This is a crown brush that came in a subscription box. You know what? I wasn't going to use this with this. I was going to use that applicator. Oh, that showed up nice. I'm going to go back in very lightly and just press it, press and wiggle. I like this except for the transition area. Like, I really, yeah, messed that up. Moving back over here. Skin Show Fever on the first third of the lid. Hourglass number 3 brush. This is not glittery at all. Is it going to show up over? I made it look a little dusty. Yeah, it did. Black metal on the outer corner. This is a Esam V27 brush. I'm going to take the brush I used to set my face with loose powder earlier today. I also have down Skin Show Fever as a brow bone highlight, which was this shade. I was going to use this, but because it showed up the way it did, I don't know, where's the brush I used for that? Oh, here it is. So we're going to, I'm not adding more shadow on this brush right now. I didn't do my transition yet. But we're going to see what's left in here to put this as our brow bone highlight. And also the first part of the lower lash line. This is not the brush I was going to use for this, but I am Makeup Geek, the fine crease brush. And deep shade is this shade that I used here by mistake. Yeah, so I think I need a lighter transition shade, or just to remember how dark it is so I can go lighter when I apply it. We're going to take Gigabyte, this shade here, on the opposite side of this one, and this is going to go on our lower lash line. We're going to take Black Metal, this shade here, with one of these little tools, which is another one that I purchased. And this one and the other one I've been using, I purchased specifically to use with the Pat McGrath shades. And we're going to put that on our lower lash line, but closer to the, oh, that's nice. I'm going to leave that just like that. That is exactly what I wanted. For like the 3rd time in my life with makeup, I have exactly the way I like it. Even though this eye is just kind of like, nope. So the looks are done. So we're going to take our Fenty Fly Pencil. This is not a fly pencil, a fly liner. And because I'm black, I'm going to put that on upper and lower lashes. Then I'm going to use this Ether, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, Big Bang Mascara from a subscription box. And then we'll be back to do a lip. NYX Retractable eyeliners, Golden Olive. We're going to put on our inner room over here. I didn't do mascara yet, so I'm going to cut back out and do that after we put Deep Purple on this inner room down here. Going to cut out and do mascara, top and bottom lashes. I just wiped off chapstick. We're going to use, we're going to use the Fenty Stunner and Unveil as our lippy. Well, of course, because it's a lip product. Going to edit the rest of this process out. As much as I really enjoy other liquid lip products that I had, it's just something about this applicator and the formula that it is just so easy to apply. So yes, this remains my go-to This is what we have. The more I look at this, it's kind of growing on me, even though for me, this part is still too dark. And there's not much, I could do about it, except if I take this shade and maybe put that there. We're going to take an Esum V33, dip into Skin Show Fever, this shade, and see if we can tone this down. Oh, it's working. Tapping in again. I don't want it to start looking dusty. Yeah, I think it's about to. Let me stop while I'm ahead. Now I like it. Still, I know this is janky, the way something's going on. I need to figure out what's going on with my skin, because it was that same thing happened in another video with a different palette and different brushes. And so I think it's something with my skin. I like this. Let me know what you think of this entire look. And you will see me in the next video. Thanks. Let me know. I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you. What was I going to ask you? Oh. Do you sometimes recreate previous looks that you've done, but you tweak it? That's the question. Because I know some people that say they never redo the same look. And I'm thinking, if you tweak it, it's not the same, even though it starts out the same. And so that's the question. Do you recreate looks? I know some people say they never do. Do you? And if you do you tweak it? Like if it's something like I didn't like how it was before, so I tweaked it, still messed up, and then I added the other thing there, and I really like it now. So that's the question. Thank you for watching. I'm really going to go this time. You'll see me in the next video.